Going live. Success, it's live. Evening,
Okay, good stuff.
everyone. Let us know when you can hear us, and then we'll crack on. I'll just let it let the chat catch up with the stream, and then we can get started. Should be all right. I think
Yeah,
I've set it.
sounds good.
I think I've set it up all right. Who is in the chat? John Shanley's in the chat. You're in the
Yeah.
chat. David
Yep.
H is in the chat. No one else at the moment. Oh, it's
No.
gradually a few people turning up.
Yeah, they know we're always late.
Yeah. Ryan Nurse is there, and he said he can hear us just fine. Perfect.
Good stuff.
Right, evening everyone, and welcome to the Double Gameweek 27 preview of ChampMan FPL. Tonight I'm joined by, it does say FPL tactician underneath him, but yeah, Andrew, or otherwise known as FPL at FPL ChampMan, or is it ChampMan Tips, isn't it? On Twitter.
Yeah. And it's always Andrew Sherritt on the streams that appears as my little YouTube name.
Perfect. How's it going? All good?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. So waiting on the data for Manon tomorrow before I do my stuff, but obviously need to know what's going on, injuries and condition wise first as well.
Yeah, there's a fair bit to get through because obviously the turnaround this week, because the blank game week was Wednesday games, as you can see on the screen, and then obviously so there's a large amount of teams that have only had 48 to 72 hours of rest between games. So and a lot of those teams as well. I think it's Liverpool and Leeds played the Monday night in game week 26, and then they play the Wednesday game week. No, Monday night in 25, Wednesday 26, and then they play Saturday in 27. So, yeah, some short turnarounds for a few of the teams all round. How was your game week 26?
Yeah, I didn't do too bad. I got a green arrow in the end. I took a big hit as well. I took a minus, was it 8 or 12 I took? I think it was my 12. Let me just double check that. Yeah, I took a minus 12, but I got 62 in the end. Kirkland was very useful. The new Tottenham defender got me 6, and then luckily lucked out with Henry captain, who kind of saved the day. Got a bit unlucky, brought Ferdinand in instead of Hart, kind of playing it a bit safe there, and he repped out, so that did me over a little bit. So only 10 out.
I mean, a green arrow whilst taking a hit, it's perfect, really, especially in a blank game week. Yeah, getting a decent number of points just to sort of either keep you where you were or move you ahead, especially if you're not using any chips. There was a lot less chips used than expected. Whether that was because of the issues we were having or not, I don't know. But all those that let us know that they were having issues were all sorted in the end. I know it took a bit of extra time to get the website all fully updated, but we wanted to make sure yeah, those that were trying to use the chips were able to. Yeah, I think it was to do with the Gaffer game going live, and there was some stuff in the coding that just wasn't allowing some people to activate their chips on the Thursday. But I think most people that activated them before Thursday, it all worked fine, and they should all be fixed now ahead of next week. Just a reminder, if anyone has got any issues activating chips and stuff, please let us know before the 7 o'clock deadline each week, and we can look into that straight away. If we don't see that before 7 o'clock, if we don't see an initial message before 7 o'clock, then we can't really advise any help because once we get past 7, there's leaks being thrown out everywhere, and like you could easily. Well, I know most people wouldn't take advantage, but we try and keep it a level playing field for everyone. So yeah, thanks for everyone for bearing with us on Thursday whilst we fix those problems. I'm glad that I think some people, there was like 2 or 3 people that planned to use chips and then didn't, and then they actually came off better off in the end. So yeah, for some people it worked out. I just don't think they wanted the hassle or the risk. They didn't trust us to fix it. But yeah,
No, I had no Blackburn, so that helped me. But that was a big risk.
yeah, yeah. A few people jumped on Blackburn this week with, yeah, they seemed like the team to really get behind with the amount of goals that Watford concede, and yeah, Watford keeping a clean sheet. I think it was Atmatzidis and was it Richard Johnson made it into Team of the Week, I think.
Yeah,
there was 2 defensive assets for Watford in the Team of the Week. It's just crazy.
you sim that 19 times more, and that's not going that way.
No,
It's 3-4
yeah, it ends up being like 6-0 Blackburn or something ridiculous. Or actually, it's Watford, so they still would score, so it'd probably be like 6-2, 6-3. Just absolute goal fest. But yeah, right. Moving on. We're not obviously we haven't been going through the results. It's worked to keep everything a bit more streamlined on a Sunday evening because generally people are just tuning in to get the news ahead of the game week. We'll just flick through some of the stats that you don't get. Let's just have a look. Oh, want the player stats. That's it. That's the average rating, shots on target. Torrico still up there. Darren Eady now up on 90%. Dribbles, Graham Marchant still up there, 3.5 dribbles a game.
Di Matteo was there. He's one I'm thinking about this week. He always seems to do. I wouldn't want him in my team long term, but
yeah, with Everton have got their double, haven't they? So yeah, it could be someone. Yeah, someone that maybe some people don't go for. I think if you're on a free hit, then
he'll be very low known.
Yeah. Tackles, Matt Heath of Leicester up there now. Lescott of Arsenal, 84%. He's only played like 2 games, hasn't he? Let's have a look at the yellow cards. So, yeah, Danny Griffin, 1 yellow from hitting a ban. Loads of players now on 4 still. Have pretty much half the game. If they get a yellow card, they're going to get a suspension at some point. I think if anyone gets yellow card in 27, then they would miss 28. I think, yeah, if they get a yellow card in on the Saturday of 27, if they're playing on the Saturday and get a yellow card, they'll miss 28.
Okay.
So that's something to bear in mind because 28 is 2 weeks away from game week 27. Right. Just keep an eye on Ronald Tactor's lost a few pounds. Crouching Yanson's part of a -16 went well. Oh, Watford, you can always rely on them to grind out a 1-0 away win. Yeah.
That's what they're about.
Quick look at the referee stats. Did anyone notice Greg Stevelink this week? Refereed 2 games. I think he gave 5 yellow cards and 3 red cards in his 2 games. Yeah, just crazy. The guy's he's worse than you are, Rennie. Yeah, just insane. I think he did something similar at the beginning of the season, like 3 red cards in 2 games, in like game week 1 or 2 or something like that. And then the games team of the week, which is always a week behind for some reason. So that's pointless. Isn't this the week Kevin Phillips scored a hat-trick?
Yeah.
He's on the
bench. Yeah,
that
was. Yeah.
No,
and the other 2 didn't.
They benched him. Ridiculous.
That's one I actually called. I said potential hat-trick as I put him as my top differential, and he came in, but obviously I didn't buy him, so What's the point in tipping if you don't do it yourself?
Get punished for it. That's what happens.
Well, you've got to say like 6-7 things, and you can't do them all.
Yeah, yeah. Right, let's go straight into the injuries then. We'll quick look at the league table. Obviously, these are all available on my sheet.
Spurs have got to start getting out of that.
Yeah, well, they could have got a better manager. To be fair,
Yeah.
They should have like.
Have we got any news on Blackburn manager yet?
No news on the Blackburn manager. Yeah, nothing as of yet.
And the masses want Dave
See.
Jones, don't they?
Can we see who's available? Normally they just get sacked for. They just leave and have a club, don't they?
Yeah, I think I saw some of this last week. I think Wenger might be there. I think he's not got a club. And visit Viali as well, perhaps.
Manager. No, we don't want them interested in Brighton. Capello, Del Bosque, O'Leary, Sama Houllier. Probably wouldn't be a superb manager, would it? It'd be a very good.
Yeah, that's not on that page. I wouldn't have thought. Arsene Wenger, there he is.
Hullet, Ancelotti, Ranieri, the Tinkerman himself, Rafa, John Toshak.
Yeah, maybe.
Rudy Voller.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, John Toshak sounds like a possibility.
He's currently at Real Sociedad. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Would we? I don't. I think I think it would be next week.
So would that be potential same formation for them again this week then?
Probably. I wouldn't bank on anything.
No.
But I'd assume that it'd be the same formation. I think that's one for Luke to maybe. For those on his Discord, he'd probably give a better answer than I would, but I'd imagine it's probably the same formation with the three up top and they at home again.
Yeah, home to Sunderland as well. So that's again with they could pay back from what they owed last week. But so if you've got them and you're not taking a free hit, it may be not the worst.
Yeah, it was this formation, wasn't it?
Yeah. Interesting, Janssen down the middle as well, because I think everyone thought it'd be Crouch. I wasn't sure about someone playing the midfield. Well, yeah, that wasn't sure. I think obviously lots of people said whether it would be Lucas Neal perhaps in there. That looks about. Yeah, so that wouldn't be bad if they played that again.
Yeah, and hopefully get something out of them for those that moved on to one of the front three or anyone really.
Yeah, I thought De Boer might creep in as well, but I think now he's transferred, that probably makes him less likely to be picked, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To go in West Ham, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll be interesting, and then depending on who comes in to replace him, it'd be nice to have someone that plays attacking that can get those three, Bent, Janssen and Crouch all on the pitch and get Crouch actually scoring, because I backed him at the beginning of the season and he's been fucking awful.
Yeah, there was loads of talk about him. I was definitely on him at the beginning of the season, but
yeah, he's in my zombie team and he's one of the 11 players I have left in my zombie team, so I need him to start doing something because I've got I think I've got 2 players that have transferred out of the game. I think I've got
you have
one.
Carbone?
Yeah, Carbone and someone else.
And
then I've got another player that is injured till near the end of the season. And so anything else, like any other injuries or suspensions or anything, it just completely ruins the team. Then there's rotation and all of that as well. So fingers crossed that can.
He's still got quite good scores
shortly.
actually.
Yeah.
The zombie league's quite. Well, I see that, and I'm like, I'm not actually that far ahead of him, which disappoints me. But
I think I cut the gap again this week. I think I got 28 points. I'm about 5 or 6 points behind captain now, and then Whitebeard's dropped right now. His team's in even more of a mess than mine is. So that's one thing to take from it. And yeah, he's about 10 points behind me. So it is quite tight between the three of us. But then the three of us were all using like season-long data that we'd collated for the pricing and everything to pick our teams. So they were always going to be fairly similar, and it was always going to be fairly close. I think the one mistake I made is I had left Rufus as my third bench. And so there's game weeks where he hasn't come on, although generally now he plays every week.
I've owned him for a while. I like him.
Yeah, he's a decent bench option.
I don't really like having Villa players, being a Birmingham fan, but
you'll deal with Richard Rufus.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Right, let's jump straight in to the injuries then. So new stuff at Arsenal. We've got John Halls and Craig Holloway, just low condition, 87% for Halls, 90% for Holloway. Obviously, Loren is still on international duty. Sol Campbell and Ashley Cole still with one yellow card to go. But everyone else with Arsenal is okay. So generally, all the starters, apart from Loren, are available, which is good.
They've been
good news for
how long? They just don't concede goals anymore, do they?
No, they've been really good defensively. Is that down to Jolie and Lescott? I'm not sure about that.
I don't think he's played every game, has he? He's gone with.
No.
Is my man Parler back?
Ray Parler is back, 100%. So yeah, all good.
I'll do a little Cobra bomb for my man Parler. I do like him.
I saw that you tweeted him the other day.
I've been tweeting him for about 3 years now. nothing back so far.
Nothing else to report from Arsenal. Andy Johnson as well. He's back. I think he was
so that's
injured last week.
I don't think many people are on Jeffers, but you've got that potential that I suppose neither one is nailed, so it's just something to consider there.
Yeah. Right, on to the Villa. And then new stuff for Villa is Mustafa Hadji's not new.
Melberg dead. Was that 2%, 3%?
3%. He is. He has a dead leg, so it's basically made him all dead. 3%. He's on light training with his 3% though.
Oh my god, 3% amputated leg, isn't it?
So he's out for a few days, but yeah, we'll be back most likely by game week 28. As I said earlier, it's 2 weeks until the game week 28 fixtures, so plenty of time for him to get better. Hadji still out till game week 32. Barry, Rufus, Dublin, all one yellow from suspension.
So I think the thing is with Villa at the moment is old Amu, as a old tactician likes to say on the spaces. He may be a very good 4.5 option now if he's got that right midfield spot.
Possibly.
I don't really think they've got anyone else to really play there, have they?
Let's just have a look.
Ian Taylor, I suppose, could, but normally plays more in the middle. And it was the other lad. Yeah, it was Cook, wasn't it? He'd played in the middle. Then we weren't sure whether it was going to be a Moo carrying on or Cook going to the right.
Yeah. I think we saw Malpass last season play. No, he didn't play at all last season. Why have we got him? It must be a different Malpass for a different team. Yeah, I'd probably say a Moo then.
So yeah, that's not a bad option. You've got a few, obviously Backer's another 4.5 option, but there's a few around there. I've Nolan. I'm happy to keep, but I've been stuck on Pitcher for a long time, and when I ever get the chance to transfer him, when I'm not doing other stuff, I'll move him on.
I do think Eric Backer, I think, is a lot better value than Kevin Nolan now. Like if you've got a wild card coming up or an overhaul coming up, I'd probably have Backer as my 5th midfielder, and I'd play him most weeks. Like I'd play him every home game for Ipswich have, whilst Nolan you wouldn't necessarily play at all for Norwich. You just have him sitting like first or second bench or third bench or whatever.
Yeah, I've gone too early on my chips. In fact, I've got 2 left: the free hit and the triple captain, and they're going in the next 2 weeks. So I'll be left with nothing after that.
We'll ask you who your triple captain you're planning to go on at the end when we go through some of the upcoming fixtures and game weeks. Right, on to Blackburn. So a fair bit of low condition with Blackburn. Duff is 88%, Two Guy 85%, Stephen Wallace 47%. All there. Martin Taylor has a future suspension for his red card, so he will miss game week 28. Ragnvald's Soma is 1 yellow away. Yeah, Martin Taylor's there. He's got his match ban starting there. Two Guys
So
probably the worry.
2 Guy, yeah.
85%. Blackburn play. Oh no, Blackburn play on Monday, so maybe not too much.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Is it all fixtures on today, or Blackburn play Monday?
Yeah, so Blackburn playing Monday, so you'd think he'd be close to 100%. Same with Duff. So I'd probably say, apart from Wallace, everyone's okay for Blackburn. But obviously we can't be sure, so on the website they will appear at 88 and 85%.
Yep, so they're all good for this week.
On to Bolton Wanderers. Few new low conditions for them. Steve Banks is 87%, Sean Goater 90%, Hendry 88%, Nicky Sovell 88%. They play on Sunday, so they've got one day, so all of them will be over 90% by the time they play. Stephen Young is out for a month with a twisted ankle, so he will return around game week 30.
And Gardner's served his training ban or whatever he got bombed off for.
Yeah.
Back in the good books by the look of it.
Yeah. Need him to start playing. Yeah, he's in my zombie team and just hasn't been playing the last few weeks.
No, I've had him, but he was one out recently.
Yeah, it's like horrific the last few weeks owning him.
Yeah, Pedersen's disappointed as well.
Yeah, although being a midfielder, it's not as bad. But he's still quite like a high. He's one of the premium midfielders, you'd say. So you'd want more out of him, but
that's one we can check. Actually, someone said Bolton need a striker. I'm pretty sure. Have they got a Swedish guy coming in next season? Is it? I'm pretty sure they've got a future transfer. Yeah, they took the guy from Torino.
Uksel Osmanovsky.
Yeah, you can say that one.
I reckon it's Uksel. Yeah, you've got this guy.
Not great, but probably similar to Ramberg, maybe.
Probably. Yeah, probably slightly
maybe
better than
slightly
Ramberg.
better. Yeah, so an improvement.
Right, on to Bradford, what everyone's been waiting for. Only new stuff for them is Steve Norman, 89%, and Niam Uka, 89%. Michael Walsh, still suspended, returns in game week 28. And Andy Holt, still suspended, returns the second game of double game week 27. Don't really
Can
need
you
to
just check
say.
their results for me, the last couple? Because I kind of been going against them. They've not been conceding that many, actually, have they?
No.
2-0, 3-0. No. I think they'll be a lot worse in the second half, but they're still being quite dour, so maybe it's not a target Bradford just yet.
No, I mean, defensively, they haven't been too bad.
They had an amazing first half of the
Yeah.
season. I thought they'd just fall to
Yeah,
pieces
they were
now, but
keeping clean sheets all over the place in the first half of the
yeah.
season. Yeah, I'd still be looking at. I think Norwich and Watford are the ones rather than Bradford. All right, on to Chelsea. And
Well, that's Gallas is the same. Oh, sorry, Desai is the same.
so when did Chelsea play? Chelsea play today. Desai is 90%, still with a flag for a few days. Gallas still out till game week 28. Alex Zidsi isn't in the game, so it doesn't matter. Bebayaro obviously still on international duty. Zola is 80% as well. Johnson and Butt both 1 yellow from suspension. John Terry still suspended.
I think
Begins his
yeah, that's
suspension.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's why I didn't buy him in. I saw that one.
yeah, so he begins his suspension this week and returns in game week 28. So yeah, defensive problems for Chelsea, which I probably imagine Desai still plays.
Yeah, going to be Holden, Desai,
Otherwise,
Melchot, and Kennedy maybe.
possibly.
Christensen in at right mid. Yeah, Holden seems nailed when they've not got the first choice for. Well, with Gallas as well.
Hmm.
So there's probably one unknown to come in, I would say.
Could be how many defensive centres are there? One. Moss, Richardson, Russell, Desazar, Cousins, Middleton, Ramsey, Kennedy, Petit, Stott, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Kennedy might be the one. He was on the bench, wasn't he? So he's on the borderline.
Yeah. Be interesting from Chelsea this week.
I'd gamble it. If you got Desai, you got away with it last week. See if you can do it again.
Yeah. Right, on to Coventry. Only new news from them is Julian Joachim has an upcoming suspension. He'll be suspended for game weeks 28 and 29. Obviously, Hedman still, this is his last week before he begins his 4-match suspension because he misses 28, 29, 30, and 31.
He
John
killed me this season. I went Serrani at the start. What a bad decision that was.
Hedman, he's just been insane, hasn't he, Hedman?
Mm.
I think I had Serrani in like one of my last drafts of the zombie team, and then I got talked into Hedman.
Yeah, terrible decision. I did all right. I mean, what am I? I'm rank 218 at the moment. I was 20 after week 2, and I've been down to 318. So I've been up and down a bit.
It's quite easy though to make up the ground from around the 200s to about 50, and then after that it just gets impossible to make up ground.
Well, Luke's got about 100 on everyone, hasn't he?
He's got 100 points over everyone else. Yeah, everything else all right with Coventry. Right, on to Everton. That a lot of people are targeting for the double. Prayers for
They,
Duncan Ferguson and his gash leg. He is down to 1%.
oh my god.
So yeah, I've actually put the message on the website. Says yeah, return date game week 28. 1% in brackets and rip after it. Yeah, that's.
Love it.
I think
Are they playing today? Are they?
I think they're playing the Saturday. Yeah, they play the Saturday and then they obviously play Wednesday for the double.
Yeah,
So
there's a few on them.
who else is
I will
out?
probably be triple. Who
Steven
else?
Schumacher, low condition, 87%. Alex Nyarko is off at AFCON still. Alan
Yeah.
Mugan still on loan. Yeah, a lot of people. Like you're looking at Di Matteo. There'll obviously be a lot of people looking at like Malcolm Christie and Toritos, Gravison maybe as well this week. Titov.
I think that yeah, I think the defenders might be the way to go forward because they're Leicester at home, Bradford at home. So they've probably got the best chance of clean sheets out the three doubling, I would say. Well, the three home teams doubling. So I'll probably again Unsworth's always everyone's go to. He'll be highly owned,
Or
and
McAteer.
McAteer will be there as well.
Yeah,
So
McAteer's been brilliant this season.
Expect a David Weir hat trick instead.
He only got 2 assists, 4 goals and 2 assists.
Yeah, I thought he'd done better than that.
I thought he'd done a lot better. 3 man of the matches. Oh, I think that's where he gets quite a lot of bonus points. Yeah, he gets high ratings every week. Yeah, his average rating 7.27. So yeah, most weeks he's getting like 8s really. So yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, if I was looking like obviously a lot of people were looking at Shearer for captaincy this week because Newcastle got their 2 home doubles. But yeah,
I don't see how you can go against it, but
I think Christie, could you?
Christie can again.
If you wanted to take like a gamble, like if you were looking at a differential kind of captain for the double that like sort of a make or break kind of thing, then
I was in the Craig camp. I owned Christie, and I sold him the week he scored his hat trick. So I'm still not very happy with him.
Yeah, possibly Christie. Or if you own both, then yeah, captain Christie and vice Shearer.
The other striker spot's not really
alternative.
nailed, is it? Kevin Campbell's been back in a bit, so Cerritos, Campbell rotate a little bit, don't they?
I don't think I'd probably. I think if I was touching a forward for Everton, it'd have to be Christie because it could easily just be 90 minutes each for Toritos and Campbell. So yeah, you're not getting the value from the double for them.
No, mine will probably be a coin toss between Christie and Court. Maybe I might double Newcastle.
David H, how many Chelsea would you get on wildcard?
Yeah, they don't look too bad. Again, just looking ahead to their fixtures. Yeah, they've got the double: Ipswich away, Newcastle home, Bradford away.
The problem is they've got a lot of other fixtures around that.
I'd say barring 32, there's no terrible fixtures. So maybe 1 or 2. I wouldn't go 3.
I think at the moment, like defensively, you can't even double up really defensively on them. I'd probably just go Melchior and then, or maybe just get the keeper Melchior. Although then you lose spot. I'd probably just go Melchior and then.
Nicky Butt hasn't done much. You priced him quite high. I was expecting him to chip in a bit more.
He looked good because whenever someone signs, we run a sim of the rest of the season.
His stats are great.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to do well, but yeah, a goal and an assist. That's a lot less than what we were expecting from 13 appearances. And neither of those were in the league. They were both in the cup, the goal and the assist.
Yeah. Can you check Forsell? Forsell's one. Obviously, Johnson's the better one, obviously, but Forsell, yeah, he's developing quite well, isn't he? So, but yeah, 5 and 25 is that in the Prem? So, not too bad for the cheaper price. You'd probably want to pay more and get Good Johnson though.
Yeah. Right, back to Everton. Just seeing things coming through on the chat as we go. Yeah, we've done all of Everton. Let's move on to Ipswich Town. And some new injuries here. We've got Alan Armstrong. He's out for 2 months with a torn groin muscle. So he returns game week 32.
Gary Doherty alert.
And Guillermo Graven is now a new injury. He's out for 10 days with a bruised shin. He's game week 29. And then what else is new? Titus Bramble has an upcoming suspension. So he's suspended for game week 28. Nabil Abdallah still a doubt. He's 42% due to return game week 32. Chippo is still on international duty. Holland and Hariderson, both 1 yellow from suspension. Jason Kumas is 89%. When do Ipswich play Man United today? And Jamie Redknapp is still out till game week 29.
Always out.
Plays 1 game, then out for 4, and then plays a game, then out for 4.
They did get him right in this game, didn't they? That's what he was.
Yeah, Gary Doherty could be worth a little punt, I reckon, with Armstrong out for a while.
Yeah, he was getting a few games there recently. I think nothing consistent, but he does appear up there.
Yeah, I mean, by removing a forward from Ipswich, it just increases his chances, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So he's worth a game, and if he doesn't start up front, then at least he'll play, he'll play in defence. So
he doesn't seem as popular this season. Last season, obviously, it was all about him.
He was 4 million last season, I think.
Yeah,
Spurs. He didn't even start at Spurs, and then he suddenly just it was like the same situation as this season. Rebrov and Everson got injured, and Doherty just slotted in up front and then scored a couple of times, which Wood couldn't do. So then everyone jumped on him because he was a 4 million defender, and then I think we priced him. What do we price him this season? 5 mil. Because it was either
5.5 maybe.
Can't see him on my list. Oh, I've got filtered because there's nothing wrong with him. But yeah, and then it was either going to be keep him as a defender and
5.5 this year.
Yeah, it was either keep him as a defender and I hope that he played the majority of games in defence at 5.5, or we'd have had to have put him as a very cheap striker. So he decided to keep it fun and keep him as an option in the game.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm glad you did it.
Ramanathan, any future transfers for Chelsea? Nothing for them. Oh, hello.
Oh, Lundberg, that's new.
There's one for you. Freddie Ljungberg is set to sign today from Arsenal. So that's new. Which would mean Ipswich playing. Well, there you go, Freddie Ljungberg.
Are they playing today? Is it today? Sorry, they're playing.
Yeah, but I'm assuming this is PM, so it's the kickoff. So I'm assuming that his transfer goes through in the evening.
He won't be like, who was it who played 2 games last year?
That
Was
was
it
Di
someone that signed?
Matteo.
It was a Di Matteo, yeah. What a hero.
But I'm going to assume that. So there you go. There's some breaking news for everyone. Freddie Ljungberg is signing for Ipswich Town for 4.1 million.
Yeah, that was rumoured. That's.
I'd
Again.
assume then that he doesn't play for Arsenal this week and doesn't play for Ipswich either.
Do you think that affects back? Where would he play in Ipswich's formation? He'd have
Right
to go
mid?
into midfield 3, wouldn't he?
Right
Yeah,
or left
well,
mid?
it wouldn't be wing backs. They play the 3 in the middle,
Oh yeah.
don't they? So they've got a lot. They've got a lot of competition in that middle. That's Holland, Fotherington, Bakker, Kumas.
So you'd think it would be Bakker, Ljungberg plus Holland.
Yeah, Andy Martin's not going to be happy with that.
Everyone knows.
Yes,
Ipswich signing Ljungberg because they don't have enough midfielders already. Exactly. All sports fan Adam, how many ranks and doubles after 27 will there be in theory? I'll go through that at the end because I've got a spreadsheet up which should give me a clear picture of it. I won't go through it right now. Let's get these injuries all out of the way. Right. So I've got Ljungberg out of the way. What I'll say is if he does happen to play for Ipswich, we will leak it. And then we can leak that Ljungberg starts for Ipswich and we'll announce the transfer tomorrow. So yeah.
That's fair.
If not, we'll announce the transfer on Friday it'll be on Saturday once the game week's finished, as we normally do. Right, with Leeds, nothing new, but everyone's injured still. McPhail, still out till game week 29. Kuehl, he's game week 28, but he's 90%. Leeds play today. Viduka 28, 90%. Singh 28, 90%. Imar 29, 41%. So yeah,
gamble again, isn't it?
Yep, it's another gambly week for Leeds.
I brought Kuehl in last week. If he would have scored that last minute goal, it would have paid off. Disallowed in the last second, I think.
It was. I mean, because they could all just suddenly start. Apart from Imar's out, McPhail's out.
Yeah.
Singh, Kuehl, and Viduka. But I think with the double, there's no need to take it. I think if you own them, you can hold. But yeah, with the double, why would you be looking at Leeds away to Coventry when there's other players that have got 2 home games in a double?
Yeah. Free hit you won't touch if you own them. Maybe. Coverway's not too bad.
Right, on to Leicester City. Only new news for them is Frank Sinclair. He's 90%. He's out for 10 days. Leicester play on the Saturday. It's now due back game week 37. Still fighting for fitness. Junior Lewis is 89%, low condition. Matt Heath, 1 yellow from suspension. Other than that, all good for Leicester. Liverpool, not much to report from them either. It's just Yari Lippmanen, 87%. Liverpool play on the Saturday. Nice and easy, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Man City, likewise, nothing new at all from them. No flagged players at all. All okay at Man City.
That's good because people will be on them. Are they playing today as well?
Yep. They play
so
today.
One shop 91, but okay, that's fine.
Right, on to Man United. And there's some low conditions there. Chadwick, 88%. York, 89%. Neville, 90%. Veron, 89%. Man United play today against Ipswich. So yeah, some to think about there. Although I don't know. Say
hard to tell. They're away, so they may still go with strong, but
yeah, they might give them the rest and rotate them around. Ugo Ekiog is one yellow from suspension, something to bear in mind before bringing him in. Barthez is about to serve his final game of his suspension that's lasted forever.
17 games suspension.
Right, on to Middlesbrough. Lots of low condition with them. First of all, let's work down my list. Carlo Cudicini starts his ban. He returns game week 30. Jesper Gronkaer is low condition 81%. Peter Atherton 77%. When do Middlesbrough play? Middlesbrough play today. So Peter Atherton 77%. Gianluca Festa 82%. Job still on international duty. Alan Johnston 88%. Gareth Southgate 90%. Miguel Cepeda still out till game week 29. Stefan Selakovic 88%. This could be a car
they're
crash
in
for
trouble, aren't they?
Middlesbrough.
Yeah. Well, they're home to Chelsea, so probably
could be a lot of
if people are wild carding, makes Chelsea a little bit better, I suppose.
It makes Middlesbrough do not touch for this week.
Yeah, free hit, go nowhere near him. A lot of people not on free hit stuck with Atherton.
And probably forced to stick him on the pitch and hope.
Yeah.
Although, I think he's destined for a one-pointer if he does somehow manage to start.
He's due one. He deserves it.
Right, on to Newcastle with their big double coming up.
I was going to get Shay Given in. That's one.
Shay Given's been injured for a little while. I think we might have thought he might have been back in time. Yeah, he's out till game week 29.
They home? Yeah, Watford can score, but Leicester at home, maybe. Yeah, not the right option. Who played in goal in the last game?
It was Harper.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he played against Barnsley. Steve Harper did. So, in the cup.
Might be a good sub keeper for your free hit. Is he 4? I presume he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Well, Given's 5, so yeah, Harper will be 4. Right, Dabazas, future suspension, game week 28 for reaching 5 yellows. Steve Watson has got an upcoming suspension, game week 28 as well for yellow cards. Holt, Dyer, Guard, so Griffin, Hope, all 1 yellow from suspension. And Seth Johnson is out till game week 28. But yeah, if Dyer gets a yellow, then he'll still play the other game in the doubles. So there's no problem there. Shearer, all okay with him. Bellamy's been popping up. He's okay. Cole Court, he'll probably be kicking about in a few teams. He's all right.
Yeah, I think free hit. They'll be triple Newcastle for sure, won't they? Just got to pick the right ones.
Yeah, I think a defender, Shearer, and one of Hughes or Dyer.
Yeah,
I think that maybe Watson,
I might go
Shearer,
Court,
Hughes or Dyer. Actually, no. If you've got, I think I'd probably go Harper. Like 4 million starting goalkeeper with a double game week, 2 home games.
That's your big decision. Which 3 to go for Newcastle? I mean, which 2?
I'll probably go Harper, Shearer, and then Hughes or Dyer. Because then Saves you so much money, only having to spend 8 million on 2 goalkeepers.
Cole Court's not bad though. 2 home games.
So Shearer, Court, Harper.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, so I mean, you want 5 or 6 from them really, but
Just chucking an 11.
yeah.
Right, on to Norwich. Right, new stuff for Norwich. Clint Easton's low condition, 89%, as is Ali Gibb. Sean Dyche, 1 yellow from suspension. Paul McVeigh, due back game week 28, he's 90%, as is Darren Moran. Kevin Nolan, still 1 yellow from suspension as well. And Alan Rodgers is out till game week 29 with a pulled hamstring.
Apart from Marchant and Nolan, no one cares about them.
No. Right, final 3. Sunderland and Tim Cahill is a new injury. He's out for 3 weeks with a dislocated jaw, so due back game week 29. Pierre Issa's on international duty. Gary Till due back game week 29 still. And George McCartney is low condition, 66%, due back game week 28. A lot of people will be going Phillips to Shearer, I assume.
Yeah, it will be.
Right, on to Spurs. And Totter and Sean Wright Phillips both low condition. Totter 87%, Sean Wright Phillips 90%. Gus Poyet still out till game week 29, as is Fortune, who's on international duty. Spurs play on Sunday, so probably no low condition for them anyway.
No, they're good. I've got that new defender in. I think we almost missed the transfer of him, and he's crept in as a Olivier Bernard Part 2 playing in midfield. So I'm quite pleased with him.
Oh, this guy, Fugelstad.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see whether it continues, but
I didn't announce the transfer when he came in because I didn't think he would play, and he is playing. So yeah. We just had to add him in when he suddenly started again.
yeah, I've got him. As long as he plays, he's good. He's a good asset for that price. But we'll see.
Right, on to Watford. New injury to Richard Johnson. He's out for 2 weeks with a gash leg. So back game week 29. Lee Cook still game week 29. Dennis Byrne game week 37. Paolo Venazza has upcoming suspension game week 28. Gary Walsh, low condition, 89%, and Adrian Williams is 1 yellow from suspension there. They play on Saturday against Newcastle. So
1-0, grind it out. That's what they do.
that's all of the injury news. This is how the game week looks up. So Saturday you've got Villa, Norwich, Coventry, Leeds, Everton, Leicester, Ipswich, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Middlesbrough, Chelsea, Newcastle, Watford. The Sunday, Bradford, Arsenal, Tottenham, Bolton. God, that's a super Sunday and a half, isn't it? Like 2 horrific games.
You ain't watching that.
Monday night football, Blackburn, Sunderland, which I probably wouldn't watch either. I'll watch EastEnders instead. And then 3 days later, the double games, Everton, Bradford, Man City, Sunderland, Newcastle, Leicester. Those games will be via Twitter on Friday evening at kickoff at 8:30. And then the game week
Streamed on
28.
Prime as well, they are.
Game week 28 isn't for 2 weeks. So yeah, plenty of time there. But there are several teams that will play at least once between now and then, because we have the FA Cup 5th round in that middle weekend. So Everton, possibly Arsenal, will have goal alerts from their 4th round replay with Birmingham on Friday night. Liverpool, Leeds, Man United, Norwich, Bolton, Ipswich, Sunderland, Watford will all play at least once. Man United, Leeds will play 3 times because they have 2 Champions League fixtures as well in that period between game week 27 and 28. So it's something to keep an eye on, especially with all these players on low condition. Man United especially struggling in Europe a little bit, I think, in their group. So they will be fielding their strongest team as much as possible. But yeah, interesting to see that there will only be a maximum. Well, there'll be 5 Premier League teams in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. All of the Premier League teams have been drawn against each other in the 5th round. The only one that might not is Everton might not play Arsenal. They could end up playing Birmingham.
I'd like to think so, but probably not.
So yeah, that's where so we have game week 27, then we have the Champions League in the midweek, then the FA Cup 5th round, then Champions League / League Cup semi-finals, second legs in that midweek between the 5th round and 28. Then after 28, we have the League Cup semi-final, second legs that can't get played. I think it's just Man United's one. Oh no, both of them. Is it both of them? Let's just have a.
You said they could be playing quite a bit.
So confusing.
3 games.
Yeah, both of them are on the same night, so they're in on the 25th of February, so 4 days after game week 28. Then there's a weekend off for some reason, what or other. It's not an international break. It's just a blank weekend on the 28th of February. Could that be because it's a leap year and the game doesn't know how to deal with it?
It could very well be.
I think it could be.
Yeah.
If anyone's got a better answer than that, then
Leap year, love it.
yeah, it's a leap year weekend, leap year break for everyone. Then we've got the UEFA Cup starting back up and Champions League games before 29. So yeah, Leeds, Man United, Chelsea will play twice between 28. They play 3 times between 27 28, twice between 28 29. Then after that, load of 2 lots of European fixtures plus the FA Cup quarterfinals before game week 30. One thing I do think is the 5th round, any replays involving UEFA Cup teams could cause a blank in game week 29. This is because the replays will be penciled in for Wednesday, 3rd of March, and the UEFA Cup game round 4 first legs on Thursday, the 4th of March, and the UEFA Cup gets precedence over that, so they'd move the replay to the midweek, to the weekend, which is game week 29. So that's something to bear in mind. English teams in the UEFA Cup and in the FA Cup still. Liverpool in the FA Cup still? Or do they go out? Yeah, so Liverpool, if they draw against Leeds, that could be a possibility. Villa out. Middlesbrough out. So it's Liverpool Leeds. If that's a draw, then we could see Blackburn and Liverpool blank in 29. So
Okay. What's
something,
Gills asked?
something to keep an eye
Gills
on.
has asked, will we
When
know
will we know
about the
about the
blanks in
Game Week 31 blanks due to the League Cup final, assuming Man United and Chelsea win? Well, they've pretty much won. I think they just need to turn up.
Yeah.
We will know those before the Game Week 29 deadline. So we'll know it a week on Friday after Game Week 28. Yeah, and that will be confirmed, and then we should be able to. We won't, although they'll move. What they'll do is they'll move the fixtures into the midweek following the League Cup final, and then it's dependent on whether Man United or Chelsea are still in the Champions League. If it's in the Champions League, if they're still in the Champions League, then they'll blank in 31. If they're not still in the Champions League, I believe the Game Week 31 fixtures just move into the midweek following, so they won't blank. Similar to what happened with, was it the FA Cup this year? I think there was a couple of teams that didn't blank in the end in a week, which they got in the normal FPL. I can't remember.
There might have been one with that. I think Arsenal. Did Arsenal have a funny one with Birmingham? Something like that. Was that League Cup? Yeah.
So yeah, there could be a blank Game Week 31. Blank Game Week 32 will be a blank. Could be a blank for Leeds, Everton, Man United, and Chelsea, dependent on Leeds, Man United, and Chelsea's. Oh no, could be a blank 32's semi-finals for the FA Cup. So that's any teams that get to the semi-finals of the FA Cup could blank in 32, but then they could move the fixture into the midweek following 32 for them. 34 could be a blank. It's the quarter-final, second legs of the Champions League, semi-final, second legs of the UEFA Cup. So yeah, anyone still in Europe at that stage will know them by Game Week 30, end of Game Week 30.
There'll be a few because there's always that pile up on 37 if Leeds and Man United do well, isn't there?
Yeah. And then 30. That's the thing. Yeah, there'll be. You'd end up getting a triple game week if Man United and Leeds, if they end up playing the FA Cup final against each other, the League Cup final against each other. Oh no, it'll be Man United and Chelsea in the League Cup. I think there's almost, I'd say it's like around a 75 to 90% chance Man United will have another triple game week this year. All depends on them getting through in Europe, which is a bit 50-50 at the moment. So yeah, blank game weeks 29 possibly, 31, 32, 34, all of which actually, yeah, 29, 31, 32, 34, all blank game weeks, of which Leeds could blank in, could be 3 of them. Man United could be 4 of them. Chelsea could be 4 of them. Yeah, lots of game weeks.
Yeah.
Which would
lots to come.
Yeah. And I think most of it would all slot into 37. If Man United made the Champions League semi-finals, then it's literally 37, and that's it because there's a couple of international breaks in there as well. Yeah, be interesting, but yeah, like we say, when we get any news on fixtures or anything, we do let you know as soon as possible. So it generally will be on the Friday morning after the game week or the Saturday morning after a double. I've got all of this info from Talon Adeem spreadsheet. It's not fully up to date with who's where, but yeah, it does show you where each of the game week fixtures are and each of the like different cup competitions where their fixtures are. So it gives you an idea. It just means you kind of will have to do a bit of toing and froing between the sheet and yeah, the tweets that go out just to keep an eye on it. But yeah, we'll try and keep you all in the loop. I think that's about it. You said that you're on a free hit this week.
Yeah, going for it this week.
And using your triple captain next week.
Yeah, next week I think I will. I think the plan at the moment is if Man United and Sunderland are doubling next week, I'll probably be going Van Nistelooy and Phillips. Probably put the captaincy on Van Nistelooy and Phillips. I think between them, again, it's at risk, like you said, with those fixtures. You could miss out on not having it in 37, but you don't know if the league's going to be wrapped up and if there'll be reps. So I think if you say to me at the start of the season you can have it on a Van Nistelrooy and Phillips double, I don't think you can turn it down, basically.
Definitely. Cool. I think we've covered everything. I'm sorry I've confused everyone with the double game week talk. Like I said, we'll tweet it out and it'll be clearer than me rambling on about it because yeah, I'm trying to decipher it as we go because even we get caught out like with the blank a couple of weeks ago. We got a bit caught out with that. So yeah, we can predict things, but there's only so much we can go through sims to try and predict them. We kind of sometimes just have to let the game try and play out and see what happens. And like this season, we never imagined the amount of replays needed because last season there wasn't any in the FA Cup. So yeah, there were no huge blank game weeks. But it's made it more interesting, definitely to navigate through. And everyone loves a double game week. Everyone hates a blank game week, but you know that you're going to get a double for it in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
It pays back, doesn't it?
Yeah. Cool. Right. Cheers, Andrew, for jumping on with me this evening. It was a bit short notice. Everyone else seems to be busy this evening. So yeah, cheers for jumping on. It's good to have you
No,
on.
thank you. And anytime, mate. Anytime.
Cheers for everyone that joined us in the chat. We shall see you on Thursday. I don't have a clue who's hosting this week. It will be Craig and Martin +1. Or Craig or Martin +1. So yeah, keep your eye out for tweet announcing that all of the injury news and everything all gets tweeted out tomorrow morning. We'll try and get the leak to Scarface some point this evening, and yeah, we'll let you know if Ljungberg does play and make his debut for Ipswich, or still plays for Arsenal. Yeah, so yeah, that will be included in the leak. Right, enjoy the rest of your weekends. See you Thursday night. Cheers, guys.
All right, cheers. Yeah, cheers.